Hi everyone, my name is Sean Doobie, Technical Director with Windows IT Pro. Again with me today is Mel Beckman. Mel is a Senior Technical Director with Penton Technology Group. He's built 2 regional internet service providers and is currently president of Beckman Software Engineering, a technical consultancy specializing in large-scale, high-bandwidth networks. Hi Mel.
Hey, Sean, how are you doing? Good to be here.
Yeah, good. We're having fun in these private cloud conversations. Today's topic is about integrating a private cloud with your existing infrastructure. So, in the vast majority of cases, people that are looking at private clouds already have some kind of an infrastructure that they can't throw it away. They have to work with somebody else on it. They have to work with their existing infrastructure and somehow integrate a private cloud into that infrastructure. What would you say are the most important things an IT leader or an IT professional be looking at in how to integrate a private cloud with their existing infrastructure?
Well, the most important thing is to recognize that the private cloud isn't going to replace your existing infrastructure overnight. As you said, you're going to have to live with it. You're going to have to live with it for 2 or 3 years at least until the technology runs through its life cycle. And that's an important concept to communicate to management. The most important thing you can do is help set management expectations, because I see this all the time. Someone puts in any kind of new infrastructure, a private cloud, a public cloud, and management thinks, this is going to solve all our problems, and all our old problems are going to go away.
Immediately.
And you have to let them know that it's a path and an evolution. It's not an overnight success story. So after you've set that expectation, then the next thing you need to do is make sure that you have really good instrumentation in place. This is a technology component, but it's critical. A lot of organizations aren't really monitoring all the speeds and feeds through their network. They aren't monitoring service availability. And these are tools that are off the shelf, easy to buy, network management tools and performance analysis tools. And you need to get those in place. We're talking, on the scale of a few $1,000s in purchases, or if you're really desperate, you can go use open source tools and pour labor onto it. But both of those let you get instrumentation in place so you know what's happening.
So are you saying, in other words, measure what you have right now before you change it so you know if it's better or not?
Well, not just measuring, but monitoring so that you know if you broke something.
Right.
A lot of times a cloud is coming in, a public or a private cloud is coming in, and it's got a completely different switch topology or switch infrastructure protocol. For example, a lot of private clouds use data center bridging, and a lot of legacy stuff uses spanning tree protocol. Well, if you want to make sure those are going to interoperate, you have to be monitoring the network so that when you plug something in, if things go down, you find out before your users call.
Right. Okay. So that's the second step. First, manage expectations. Success is not going to happen overnight. Second, make sure that you have your monitoring in place. What else would you say? The IT professional tends to look at the technology and exclusively the technology. And I once heard someone describe the reason that we are in IT is because we're more comfortable with technology than with people.
That's definitely the case, and I'm probably just as guilty of that as anybody. And this is a place where you need to involve users, because the next step is identifying the applications that are going to benefit from going into your private cloud. You could just set up a private cloud and only put new apps in there, but you've undoubtedly got some applications that would really benefit in performance and reliability from being in the private cloud. A good example is email. You might have, some kind of pasted together exchange system that you've set up over the years. I've done it. We've all done it. And this would be a good opportunity to put that into a nice, very resilient virtualized infrastructure with automatic failover and possibly some off-network backup capability. Mm-hmm. So any kind of high-impact application, it could be a line of business application that is going to benefit from the private cloud, you should consider moving. And to find that out, you've got to talk to users. You've got to find out what their pain points are. So once you've done that, then you can start creating a plan for moving things into the private cloud.
Maybe starting with the low impact applications or new applications so that everybody can start to understand how it works and how to fix it, how to fix the failures. I always describe a private cloud as a virtualized infrastructure with a heck of a lot of automation on top of it. So there's a lot of moving parts.
Well, there are moving parts, and that means before you start the engine on your private cloud, you need to make sure that you pay for adequate training. Just like you wouldn't buy an airplane and then, take off without a pilot's license, you've got to get your flight credentials for the private cloud. And that's not complicated. You're talking 20 to 30 hours of pretty intensive education on a private cloud simulator. Virtually all the private cloud in a box solutions have simulators, and all the outside engineered solutions have the ability to go visit a training center and learn how to operate things. And the value of that automation is once you know it's there, you can move workloads around with confidence. You can do backups and restores with confidence, but you have to have the training. With that training, though, you don't have to start out with tiny applications initially. You could move a fairly important application into the private cloud as long as you take care to have a rollback process. And that's another aspect of migrating to any new infrastructure. You have to have the ability to roll back. You can't burn the bridges behind you, as it were.
Right. Something I've said for a long time is much of my IT career is spent trying not to paint myself into a corner.
That's right. Well, and a really common process is this. You set up instrumentation, you get baseline measurements, you know what's up. Then you move an application to the new network. In the process of moving, you say, and if it all goes down the tubes, here's how we move back. And you monitor the instrumentation, and if everything is working, you stay. And if there's any question of reliability or security of the system, you simply roll back, analyze the post-mortem information, and come back and try again another day. There's no loss of virtue in rolling back. That's a good thing. The loss of virtue is if you don't know how to roll back.
Right. Yeah, and I would add, after spending many years in a large productions environment, is you have a clearly defined go, no-go point where you decide this is good enough or this does not meet the metrics that we thought. Thanks a lot, Mel.
Thanks
for your time as always.
I appreciate it too. It was a lot of fun.
And I'll talk to you next time.
Take care.